What's going on, everybody? Hope you are having a good week so far. Before we get started on the podcast, you all know it. I have a new record out. It's called Run Run. I'd absolutely love it if you could go and listen and let me know what you think. We've actually just launched a video on the All We Have Is Now YouTube channel. You can also pick it up on my YouTube channel. So go check that out and let me know. This week on the podcast is the one and only Reset Robot. Reset Robot he's been in the industry for years, and he is DJ, producer, engineer, writes a lot of music for other people, and he's just super talented and a proper nice guy. I absolutely love his music and have loved his music for years. We actually met a long time ago in Ibiza. He definitely didn't remember. But yeah, it was a really nice conversation. We kind of spoke about bread for a long time because he is an avid baker like myself, and spoke lots about the industry and just kind of about life. It was a really good conversation. I really enjoyed it. So without further ado, Reset Robot. And we're live. Reset Robot, how's it going, sir?
Good, man. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. I don't know if you're going to remember this, but can you remember the first time in fact, the only time we've met in person? I don't think you're never going to remember this because I don't think.
Do you have a massive beard or not?
No. And it was years ago.
Right. Okay. Go on then. Tell me.
It was in Ibiza because I was living with James Dutton.
Oh, right. Okay,
and you probably wouldn't even, because I was resident at Kenya and you played at Kenya.
I played at Kenya, yeah.
Years ago. Yeah. And I was like, he's never going to remember me then. Like, I didn't have a beard.
I'm so sorry. That is, you know, some things just, I was saying this to Alan the other day. I was like, some gigs that I've done around the world have just completely left my mind. Yeah. Somebody can mention a gig that I've done somewhere and I'll just be like, I have no idea.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I was like, I'm pretty sure I've met you. And then I was thinking about this the other day and I was like, yeah, you just flew in. And it was Dutton, me, and Keir. We were living in behind Eden, and you dropped your bags off. And Dutton was like, "Oh, my mate Dave's gonna come and drop his bags off because he couldn't get into his hotel room." And I was like, "That's cool, like whatever." And then you ended up playing at Kanye.
Right. Okay. Brilliant.
This was 2000.
I can't remember it. I can't remember it. Must
2009.
Right. Okay.
It's a long time
ago.
It
is quite a long time ago, yeah. Kenya, is that on the sort of sunset bit?
Yeah, it's like round. It was like round from Cafe Mambo. So you take a right out of Cafe Mambo, go round the like loop area, and it's there. Used to be all right. Now it's pretty not all right.
Yeah, a lot of those places. Last time I walked along there, a lot of those places had shut down.
Yeah. Man, Ibiza must be an interesting place, right? I don't know if you've been over the summer at all.
No, I haven't. No,
it must be. I don't know. It relies so much on tourism.
Just hope it will sort of come back to sort of what it was. You know.
Do you think it will?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm kind of a bit worried. Because I don't see it happening this summer, if I'm honest. I know things are being planned, but I don't see it happening.
No, I really can't. Not this summer. I'd love it if it was.
Yeah.
I'd love it if it was, but I don't know. I hope so. I hope so. Something. I mean, we've got tickets for Wilderness Festival, but I can't imagine that's going to be on.
Where's Wilderness?
It's sort of Oxfordshire kind of way, I think.
Yeah, I think when Glastonbury called it a day, I think that was kind of...
Yeah, that's basically all...
The telling time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. Such weird times, man. But anyway, how's life treating you?
Yeah, not too bad, I think. Up and down, but, you know, I'm trying to just keep busy. I'm writing a lot of music and obviously trying to homeschool 2 children as well, which is flipping difficult. So yeah, it's a bit of a juggling act at the moment, but we are definitely getting through. And luckily, we all me, my wife, and kids. We all have a nice time together, and we have fun. So that's the main thing.
Could you imagine if you hated your wife and your kids?
No, I think the fact that Sarah and I get on so well is it's incredible. Because if we didn't, then imagine all this time together would just be unbearable. But we have a great time. Obviously, I probably annoy the hell out of her sometimes, but
don't we all?
Yeah. So, and also, I've been enjoying baking and cooking and stuff like that as well. So
that's why that's pretty much all I want to talk to you about is baking. I don't want to talk about music, mate. You started baking, I think, about the same time as I did.
Yeah.
And I've just been I've not been listening to your music at all. I've just been watching you baking.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have been, someone sent me a message the other day saying, I think I put a picture of a couple of loaves I baked, and they put a message saying, this used to be a page about music production. I sort of said, I'm really sorry.
How are you finding it?
I love it. I really love it.
It's great, isn't it? It's great having the time.
It's definitely something that I've got, I've really got into it and kind of tried to, I wouldn't say I've mastered it, but I'm trying to be as good as I can at it, because you think, I'm just going to bake some bread and it'll be easy, but it's really hard.
I think I've been doing it since the summer, and I only think my last 3, but I bake every week, and I think my last 3 bakes have been at the point where I'm okay, I'm happy with this now.
Yeah.
It's taken ages.
It takes ages, and I mean, I think it's it's an art form, isn't it? Really, people that are really good at it spend years getting good at it, and mastering it. So it is. Hats off to all the bakers out there.
And I always think because a new bakery's just opened locally to me, and I'm they're busy, but financially, the amount of work that goes into it, how do they make money?
I don't know, and I'm not sure I'd like to be. You'd be there till quite late, I think, after you shut, prepping up for the the next day's dough to go in the morning, and then you'd be in there at 5. I don't know how early.
They're in there at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly, yeah.
And
it's definitely. I'm happy to bake at home, but I'm not doing that.
No, I kind of want to go and just test it out for a week and just see. But
see if you could be.
We're used to not sleeping. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I suppose with the touring and stuff like that, but that used to really drive me mad as well.
Does it get to you?
Yeah, it really got to me. The not sleeping. I mean, I never toured massively heavily anyway, but not like some of the guys. But when the alarm would go off after you've laid down for half an hour and stuff like that, it would just be an absolute killer.
Yeah, it's not I enjoy it, but it's not fun when you're doing 4 shows in the week and you're doing a Sunday show and all you want to do is just go to bed.
You just want to go to bed. I've got to go to a club.
You got to get on a bed. I think the worst bit is when you have dinner and then you're not on till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And you have that lull.
I want to go to bed.
Yeah. And you're you sit down on the hotel bed and then you get a bit comfy, you watch a movie or watch something on the TV and you're game over.
Yeah. It's just God, yeah. When you have to actually get up and then, get into the mood, that's really difficult.
How have you mastered the pizza?
Again, just time and lots of disasters.
Is it sourdough based?
Yeah.
I haven't tried a sourdough based pizza yet.
Really?
That's a lie. I did it once, and I messed up because I put way too much oil on it, and it just didn't work.
Okay. Well, you put too much oil in the mix.
Yeah, I put oil in the bowl to let it prove, and it just kind of didn't work. I did it. I had like a bit of leftover dough, and was like, let's just try and make some pizza out of it.
Okay.
I haven't done it properly.
The process. So I've got a different starter for my pizzas than I use. So I've got a 100% hydration starter for my bread.
Yeah.
And then for my pizzas, I've got a 50% hydration starter. So it's a bit more like a dough.
Okay.
So that I've got more control over the actual hydration of the dough, you know. So I'm not kind of
dicing with death.
So if I add my water in, that's the amount of hydration kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely nice. It's definitely good. And in the uni oven, you know, in the wood-fired oven, it's just incredible.
Have you got the wood fire one, or is it the gas one?
I've got the wood. I've got the multi-fuel one, so you can have it wood or gas.
Man, I've been looking at getting one, but then I was thinking of getting like the green egg or the red egg, whatever they call them, because you can put pizza in it and you can also barbecue on it, and it's like charcoals.
Yeah, I think I saw my friend Elke, who is a great cook. He cooks all on over flames.
Yeah,
he's a smoking elk on Instagram, and he's got one of those Kamado Joe things.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the pizza thing that fits into that. But he's got the Gosney as well, and he's got an Uni Pro. I think the Gosney looks quite good.
It does.
I think it's for Rockbox. Yeah.
Because I went and did like a week in a hotel, like cooking in the kitchen, and he literally, like the head chef, literally like cooked on the egg pretty much every night.
Really?
Yeah, like most of the stuff he cooked something would always go on the egg at some point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm just like, they're pretty expensive, to be fair, but it might be worth it.
I think if you're enthusiastic about it, you'd be using it quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like you'd get a lot of use.
Is it like the wood? Is it the wood pellets that you use?
No, the Uni Pro is proper wood fired, so logs.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's dope.
But it's taken ages to get them to a point where it's consistent, you know.
Yeah, it's consistency with bacon. Bacon's not cooking, is it? Cooking, you can you have a bit of like leverage on either side where you can chuck something in and make it taste good, or you can add something to kind of takes things away. And bacon, you just can't.
Yeah, it's got a bit. If you want it the same, it's got to be exact every time.
Yeah, there's no wing in it in bacon.
No, you can't. Yeah, it's sort of the one thing that I kind of had never thought about, and I didn't cotton on to it till fairly recently, was temperature of the dough.
Yeah.
So what temperature is the water that you're using?
Yeah.
And what's the final dough temperature? And then your proofing temperature. All of those things really matter.
Yeah.
So, and that's as important as, got to treat temperature like an ingredient almost.
Massively. I've been doing croissants. I'm trying to nail croissants at the moment.
Oh, nice. Are you eating hundreds of croissants?
Yeah, I'm doing it like every other week because it is a process and a half. But that's what I'm finding is that that is all about temperature in the room that you're at. Like, it's because the room that I do it in, it's pretty hot, and it just melts the butter. It just melts too soon.
Right.
But you can't have the dough and the lamination is too cold because then you can't roll it out. So there's like this happy medium where you need it at this like perfect temperature.
Right.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
So I actually think I saw a picture of some that you'd done the other day. They looked really good.
They're all right, but they're still not where I want them at all. I want to get the honeycomb. So like when you get a proper, I've just realised
like
this is going to be
honeycomb thing in the middle.
People came for this podcast for music, and all we're ranting on about is bacon.
Right, well, we'll go on to
no, it's fine. But yeah, I want to get the honeycomb, and I think I've got a new recipe. I try a different recipe each time. I did the sourdough ones from the Chad Robertson. Do you have the Chad Robertson tartine book?
No,
mate.
No,
get
good.
That. It's really good. It's a really good, like, it's pretty cheap on Amazon, but it's like a simple book for like everything sourdough, really.
Right. Okay.
And they do like brioche and things, because I make brioche buns with burgers quite a lot. And,
nice. How do they come out?
Great, amazing. They're easy. They're really easy. I don't use sourdough with that though. I just use a Polish.
Right. Okay.
And I can't pronounce it. It's like it's a Japanese. So Japanese, how you make Japanese bread? You like literally put flour, water, and milk in a saucepan, and then like you're kind of making a roux. So you make it into like a thick thing, and then you add that into the dough, and it just keeps it like makes it really soft. It's amazing.
Right. Okay.
I'll send you the recipe.
Yeah, please do, because I would probably do those.
They're great. They are really good. But yeah, the honeycomb is just the impossible bit.
Yeah, you see some that people make. I mean, I look at my Instagram thing. If I go to my search thing, it's just all bread.
Yeah.
Bread and pizza.
Yeah. Some of the pizza. I guess the good thing about the uni is you can make pizza really quickly.
Yeah, well, it's, obviously the process of making the dough. So I've made some today. I'll ball that up in a little bit. That goes in the fridge, and then I'll cook tomorrow night. Yeah. So we've always got to start the day before, but that's pretty normal, really. And then the uni, it's up to heat within about 20 minutes, and then 60 seconds for them to cook.
Bam.
Yeah.
3 minutes to eat.
Insane.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they? One of my mates has got the gas uni in America.
Like they're nice, the right ingredients, nice fresh ingredients. It's something else.
Yeah, I love it. Have you named your starter yet?
No, do you know what I did? Because when we first started them in March, the kids helped me make them. So we had some names, but I can't remember what they were now. we did sort of label them all up, but the jars have changed and all that kind of stuff.
It's a proper effort. It's effort feeding it. Do you feed yours every day?
No, I keep mine in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days before I bake, I get them out, get them up, feed them a few times, get them nice and mature, and then once I've taken for the bread, I feed them again and put them back in the fridge for a week.
Yeah. Okay, so they last. You do a week. I feed mine like I keep it out of the fridge all the time, but I feed it like every other day or every 2 days.
Okay.
And it seems to just like keep a real nice consistency.
Yeah, definitely. I should probably do that. I know that it's better to keep them out of the fridge because they are a bit more vibrant when they're out of the fridge, aren't they?
Just depends how sour you want it, really. Yeah. Because like especially when if I feed mine every day, it goes sour. Yeah. And it's like, it does go a bit pungent sometimes. And you're like in the kitchen, you're like, what's this smell? Yeah. It stinks. It's not nice. Not nice at all, but mate, it's so nice to see like loads of like creative people making other stuff, because we all have time on our hands. Like beforehand, we didn't have any of this. Like it's been, I don't know about you, I can only speak for myself, but it's been like so nice to just like start something that is just like a passion rather than worry about it as work.
Yeah, definitely. I think writing my music's kind of gone back into that pattern as well.
Has it?
So yeah, I kind of feel like I'm just enjoying being in the studio, writing whatever I feel like. I've not got any kind of set agenda for it, which is nice.
Yeah, I haven't got there yet. Again, I'm like,
Right.
I've spoke to a few people on the podcast, and a lot of people have said that they've just like got back into that enjoying writing music.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I still love it, but I haven't got it like, I haven't got that love that I did, if you know what I mean. I'm not too sure why yet. I'm sure it will come.
I think it will. Yeah.
It definitely will.
Maybe it's, I guess it could be, if you're used to that kind of touring thing, some people might need that to really
get back into it,
get their vibe going. I don't know.
What do you find how do you find writing like techno or whatever
at the moment? Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because no way of testing the stuff out, nobody to test it out. Even if I wasn't playing myself, I'd probably be able to hand a few tracks out to some people and say,
test this
give this one a spin if you get a chance. Or but there's none of that. So I am enjoying writing techno still, but I am definitely experimenting with other sounds for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting the next year really to see what actually comes out, because I know I'm releasing a few other things that aren't really club. They're still club, but not really what you would expect from me.
Okay.
But it is nice to be able to do that and like have a bit more of a. It's about being an artist, isn't it? It's not about just writing music for a club, but realistically, we just generally write music for clubs because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And it's like now it's like actually being able to write music that people want to listen to whilst they're doing the washing up and doing the cooking and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's only going to make you a better musician or a better producer in the long run, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. How did it start with you? Like, how did you get into it all?
What, writing?
Yeah, because I know you do a lot more engineering for yourself for other people, like than touring, right? That's more your thing is writing.
Yeah, that's more what I do. Yeah, so I do work with a lot of other people as well. But I got into it. Was into going clubbing and going out with friends as you do, and then I just really felt like I had the urge to try and learn how to write music. So I went to college and did a music technology course and all that kind of stuff. But it was still really geared up towards recording bands and stuff when I went to college. But one of my lecturers knew that I was into dance music and he gave me a copy of Reason. So I took that home, put it on the computer at home, and then that was it.
Game over.
I didn't sleep for about 2 years.
Do you prefer the writing side of it than the touring?
Yeah, I would say that I've always been more of a sort of studio head than someone that wanted to tour as much.
That makes sense. I guess how did it start for you with engineering for just as a job for engineering? Because most people in our scene, it starts with the DJ side of things and things like that. But like, did you find it an easy process turning the engineering into like a full-time job?
I think I just put myself out there, really. I kind of I used to have a studio above a record shop in Portsmouth, and we had so much traffic coming through the record shop at that time, and I would just let people know that if they wanted to do anything, then I had a studio up there, and that started to set, just word of mouth kind of thing. That's how it kind of went, and then I picked up a few people that I worked with for a long time from that period, and then some of their tracks did quite well. People would kind of not get to know who was, that it was me working on the stuff, and then just kind of snowballed from there, really. Yeah.
We were talking about it before the podcast, but what's your thoughts on the industry? Because like a lot of people have engineers work their records and in all aspects of music, right? And that's sometimes creating it, that's sometimes writing it, that's sometimes mixing it, mastering it, everything. What's your thoughts? In the house and techno industry, we have this very thing that we should, as an artist, we should be able to do everything. And it's not the case. It's physically not the case. We're not all that great. We might be great DJs, we might be great producers, but we're not all that great at everything.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I think it's a shame that people can't be a bit more open about it and it be a bit more celebrated, that, if somebody's working with somebody else, then why is it a problem?
Yeah.
But for some reason, there's, a lot of people out there that will kind of, if they were to talk about that, they might get a lot of, I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Bad press. Yeah, a lot of shit about it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's so weird because pretty much every track that gets released especially in the pop world, in the hip hop world, in the rock world,
they'll have multiple people working on it. Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard any of I don't know if you follow Rick Rubin, but I think he's an absolute god. And he's produced some. Everyone knows he's produced some insane artists, and to the point where he doesn't even. He's not even doing anything. He's just there in the room, and he's creating. He's creating an atmosphere, and he's allowing the artist to be the artist, and he's pushing the artist to be, and that as just a producer role is a huge thing, and that's how artists have made insane albums. From someone just suggesting things, maybe. Yeah, exactly. And I think I'd love to see it more in our industry, that more people getting together and just being let's just write a record for this person with this person, and let's get the best keys player, let's get the best bass player, let's get the best top liner, and let's really let's do it. Let's do this the proper way.
That is that's probably the real traditional way of doing it, and in some genres that's just completely normal, like you said. But for some reason in house and techno, drum and bass as well, probably it's really frowned upon. But I think a lot of people think about ghost production and stuff like that. So say if I was to write 10 tracks here in my studio on my own and then just sell them to the highest bidder, that, I guess, I could see why some people would have a problem with that if there's somebody up there on the stage pretending it's their tune. Yeah, I get that. But if somebody is actually coming to a studio and working together to get a sound, then that is, that's...
No, I totally agree.
That's totally cool.
Yeah, I actually had someone DM me on Instagram the other day and was like, dude, I make music. Listen to the tracks on my Instagram and I'll give you a discount. And I'm like, oh, thanks for the offer, mate. I'd love that. So I guess it's definitely out there. People just buying tracks. But I think if you think about it,
if you can make some dough by doing that and you don't want to be touring and stuff, then why not?
Why not? There's a lot of pop records, especially dance pop records, that are extremely big, that have been written by somebody completely different and been produced by where the artist that is actually listed hasn't even been in the studio, haven't had anything to do with it, and they're just literally just copy and paste and their names on it and got a #1 record. And that happens all the time in pop, all the time. It's just weird about this scene. Something weird about it.
It is strange, but everyone wants, like you said, everyone wants everyone to be doing it on their own and to know everything about, synths and
Yeah, I was doing like a disco record just before Christmas, and I was like, I need a proper Juno, and I was like, who's gonna have a proper Juno? And I was like, Shadow Child. I was like, mate,
of course,
I was like, mate, can you hook me up with a good bass line? And I think that's what it's about. It's like bringing the community together and like being able to work on records together. For me, it just makes it so much more exciting. Even if I'm writing for somebody else, like just having them in the studio, I just find writing with people is just so fun.
Yeah, it is good. It's really good. And, now is a good time as any to, everyone's kind of available.
Yeah.
So why not tap people up, get collaborating?
And you can
It feels good. It feels really good to sort of, to come up with stuff.
No, I totally agree.
Other people.
I totally agree. And I think it's like, I don't know about your thoughts, but in the house and techno, it's very like, I don't want to say this in a disrespectful way, but I feel like it can be very one track minded. And it's like, this artist is not in my lane, so I can't do a collaboration with them. And it's like, no, that's every reason to do a collaboration with them, because it's like, we're not going to just go in with the same ideas. We're going to go in with two completely different ideas. If it comes out great. If it doesn't, then we can scrap it and do something else. It's not the end of the world. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I can totally see why it would make a huge difference to work with people that aren't necessarily in the same genre. I mean, even if people are writing techno, maybe someone's writing a bit more raw sounding stuff, maybe someone's writing a bit more melodic sounding stuff, so get them to and that could be a great marriage. But I don't think that happens enough. People are probably scared, people are worried about it.
I think a massive thing in this industry is that it's all about the look, and it's all about who you kind of associate yourself with as well. And I think it's much easier to associate yourself with one sound and kind of grow in one sound than be an artist that kind of jumps around and does a few, which is totally understandable because you have fans and your fans want to kind of listen to what you're known for, right? And if you kind of jump too far, you're kind of alienating fans from here and there, if you know what I mean. And but that's also, it also seems really narrow-minded as well, doesn't it? Totally. It is. And
why can't we just write whatever we want and just really, I mean, we can, but like you said, it might be sort of,
is that us?
Know if they're going to book you, if it's going to be, what's it going to be?
Is that us? Is that us being one track minded, or is that the industry, if you know what I mean? Because I guess at the end of the day, the music we put out is down to us. So
exactly. So you're free to do it.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
That's what I've got a load of new stuff sat on my hard drive, just, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know whether to do a new alias with it or just to put it all out under Reset Robot, or I've just got no idea what to do, but it's all sat there.
Just put it out, man. Just put it out.
Just put it out there.
Yeah, because I'm working on like a alias project that it wouldn't make sense if I put it out as well. Like it's all like very like ambient down tempo stuff. So that wouldn't kind of make sense if I put it out. But if it, in the realm of 4/4, I'm just putting it out as Will Clarke now. I'm just like, I don't care.
I look forward to hearing some of it.
What have we got to lose?
Well, I guess so, yeah. It's just, I think people will accept it at the moment. I don't think it'll matter too much. I don't think if there's no gigs at the moment, then it doesn't matter, does it?
No. Yeah, it's weird. But even when the gigs go back,
whatever sort of music you want.
Even when the gigs go back, does that mean that we have to just start writing this, not the same music, but does it mean we have to just be like, okay, I'm just going to write
go back to sort of, well, I guess you might want to, I don't know, because when you're on, when you're in a club and you're playing those sort of environments, there are certain, there's certain things that just work.
Yeah.
So you're always going to try and create those kind of moments, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. What's your thoughts on this whole breakbeat kind of tip that a lot of people are going down at the moment? Like the old school 90s breakbeat.
I'm into it. I like it.
Same. I really like it. And then I thought it was getting overdone. And then Bicep brought out their new album, and I was like, you've just smashed it with everyone. Like, their new album is just on another level. I don't know if you've listened to it.
Yeah, I've listened to it quite a few times, yeah.
It's just like...
Yeah, it's wicked.
Those boys, I think like... I don't know, but they've created a sound for themselves that I guess every artist kind of really wants in their career. I'm only speaking for myself, but I can imagine a lot of people want that thing to just have this like very signature sound.
Yeah, they've definitely created it, especially with this new album as well.
Yeah, it's almost like over the years it's just evolved, and now it's like, yeah, that's Bicep 100%.
Yeah.
Because Disclosure did
really
it.
Good.
Disclosure did it back in the day with their first album. And
yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, their first album was amazing. No, like great producers, and I felt like the second album and the third album didn't have their like signature sound as much. But there's not many people nowadays that do it.
No, that can do it. Do you know what we were? Alan and I were listening to the other day. We were listening to. I think someone on radio, Steve Lamacq, played Underworld, the full an old Underworld album. The whole album, they played it. It's the second toughest in the infants, I think the album's called. But it was just incredible, but unmistakably Underworld. Just so hypnotic.
Yeah.
Really interesting loops and sounds, but it sounds so underworldy.
Yeah.
But I'd never heard this album or any of these tracks before, but every track you could tell, and even if it didn't have his vocals on there, you knew it was an Underworld track.
Yeah, I love that. Chemical Brothers for me as well always do it. Every time, like within the first like 30 seconds, you're like, yeah, this is a Chemical Brothers record.
Yeah.
There's been like iconic acts, haven't there, throughout the like dance or like how the electronic genre that kind of just like push it forward. Who do you reckon's the next one?
Well, I think probably someone like Bicep doing it.
Yeah.
They are, they've created a sound, like you said, and it's really accessible, but it's very, some of the tracks are radio friendly, but it's really underground at the same time. So
it's done really well.
I think they've nailed it.
It's done so well, and I'm like, I'll lie if I didn't say I've tried to make a Bicep record and failed miserably. Just like, I just don't know.
I think, it always sounds it sounds simple, doesn't it? Like there's some nice overlapping pads and then some nice kind of arpy melodies, and their beats always sound great, but it's not, as with anything like that, if it sounds simple, it probably isn't, yeah.
Unless you're them.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I listened to an interview with them on Annie Mac, actually, and they said that it was quite, they were up against the wall with that one.
Yeah.
They said they found it quite difficult to finish it.
Interesting. I've not heard that one.
It's a good interview. I think they just were dropping it, and they were sort of curating one of the shows with her.
Okay.
And they were playing loads of stuff that they like and a few tracks from the album. Yeah, and they said that they found it really, really tough to finish it. And I was like, oh wow, it's good. I guess quite nice to hear that kind of thing from people like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is there been any, like, when you're writing a record, how do you kind of go about finishing it? Because I'm like this very much like the record's done. I write it, finish it, and done, and then I don't ever go back until recently. In the last like 18 months, maybe I've like really been trying to make the record better each time I go back into it, and kind of spending like a longer process on the record. Are you like in and out done, or are you much more of a process kind of guy?
I think that's changed to me over the years as well, and I used to be able to finish things really easily.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I can't finish things as easily now, and I spend much more time messing around with silly things that probably don't make any difference. And it's a little bit more of an annoying process now, actually trying to finish. I still love, the process of getting ideas together and all that, but actually finishing, it takes much longer now.
Yeah.
So weeks and weeks and weeks of sitting, kind of thrash an idea out, go back to it the next week, make some changes, a few more listens, go back to it again, make some changes. And even sometimes just leaving stuff for a long, long, long time, and then just sort of trawling through ideas and be like, oh, that sounds quite good.
Does that help when you give it time?
I think that helps for me, yeah.
Yeah, I've not done that. I'm like, I've got obviously so many unfinished projects, but I'm just like, I just don't go back to them.
Right.
It's like if I don't,
I find that time really, I could get sick of something and then put it away for, 3 months, go back through maybe 20 files that I've got, and there'll be a few in there. I'm like, wow, that sounds excellent. I could finish that in 5 minutes kind of thing.
I guess it's just it's like a fresh brain, isn't it? When you're just listening to the same loop over and over again, or the same melody, you're like, I can't do anything with this. I'm working on a remix at the moment, and I'm just like, they've asked the people that have asked me to do it, that they've asked me for like a dub version, and I'm like, the whole record's about the vocals. So if I take if I take the vocals out, then I've got to put something else in there. Yeah, because it's just not going to sound right. And I'm like just racking my brain, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. It's just like, I don't know, weird.
That is a tough one. That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. I sat down with it for about 30 minutes this earlier on and was like, I don't know, mate. Like, took the vocals out, and I'm like, the vocals are great. I get it. The vocals, the original record is a slow record. So I've sped the vocals up. And it does sound a bit weird if you listen to the original and then listen to that.
Right.
But if you listen to the remix, just straight, just on its own, it's like it works.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get what they want. They just want this like, they just want a techno record, really,
right?
With hints. But I'm like,
it's tough with remixes, isn't it? Because people have always got an idea of what they want from you, but sometimes the parts don't necessarily they don't make you want to capture a certain vibe, or they push you in a certain direction. And I've had so many remixes where I've said it over and people are like, yeah.
And then you're at home like raving to it, loving it.
Exactly, going loving it, and then you send it, and I actually really, I don't necessarily like doing remixes. I've done quite a few, but I don't know. It can be a really difficult process, especially maybe if you get a fussy label person or A&R person that wants you to make
your last record.
20. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my God.
I as like somebody that's kind of just started running a label and had a few remixes, the approach I take it is that I'm not going to the remixes necessarily for their music. I'm going for, I like their music and I like them as people, and I trust them that what they're going to turn in is going to be something that they truly believe in as an artist. And then I don't have to comment on it. I'm just like, I asked you for, like, let's say for this guy called Sebastian Russell, who I got him to do a remix. He's a French producer, lives in London. His music's insane, absolutely insane. And I didn't know what he was going to turn in. And that's what I love about it. Yeah. And that's what I love about it, is like, you just don't know. And, but I think that's the thing, is when it turns into like, what are they asking you to remix? Are they asking you as an artist to remix, or are they asking for your name to remix? If you know what I mean? Like, what are they trying to get out of this by getting you to remix?
I often ask, is there anything, would ask that, what tracks of mine is it that, you've liked that have made you want to ask me about doing this sort of thing? That can sometimes help, or it can sometimes be a real hindrance, but it's definitely a difficult process sometimes.
Yeah, it's when I remixed Your Mind for Adam, I just sent him 3. I did 3 and sent him all 3 and was like, mate, take your pick. Dude,
take one of these.
You can have what you want. You can have all 3 if you want, but take which one you like.
And were they all quite different? Or?
Yeah, one was drum and bass. He was never going to take that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Loved it. Is it available to listen to anywhere?
I'll send you it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I'll send you it. It's like I was literally like on my way to a gig on a train and just got bored and was like, let's just do a drum and bass version. When you just like put a few beats together and it's not perfect, but it just kind of works.
Yeah.
I played it out once, actually.
All I ever do.
Winging it our whole lives.
Yeah, just constantly winging it, pretending that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting, how good does it feel to like do what you absolutely love as a living though? Like,
it is great to be able to, say that to do this. It's great to be able to do it. I love it.
Yeah.
Every day I come into the studio, switch all the stuff on, come here with my coffee in the morning, and feels great.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it.
I love that process. Coming in with my coffee, flicking all the buttons on, and just sort of going, wonder what's going to happen today, sort of thing.
I think that's the one thing that I'm not doing, and maybe that's why I'm not enjoying it so much, is that I'm busy doing other things. Like, my emails are going, I'm doing other projects, and I think I just need to like take like a month and just be like, nothing. I'm not doing anything, and just sit in the studio and just write and just enjoy it.
It is really important to not have any distractions.
Yeah.
If your phone's going, if you've got notifications popping off and all that, it just
takes it out.
Pulls you out every time, doesn't it? It just pulls you out of that sort of zone. And if you're in the zone, it's a great feeling.
YouTube.
But it's hard to get into the zone sometimes. So when you're in there, you want to stay in there.
Yeah. YouTube is a killer for me. YouTube is like the biggest distraction. Like,
1 minute you're writing some beats, the next minute you're looking at videos of someone shaping some dough.
Literally. Yeah, or like learning how to cook this and cook that, and then I'm like, I should go to the butcher's to get some dinner for tonight.
Yeah, should quickly go and get some stuff for that. Yeah.
It's a nightmare. That is the one thing, like being back in the UK, because I've got like family around me and like it's like my hometown, so you're just kind of used to, you just go back to your usual schedule, or to my usual schedule, and just like, I'm probably a little bit, I write better music when I'm in the UK, but I think my productivity when I'm in America, I'm like 9 to 5, just writing music.
You're in there. Yeah. Well, that's that. I think that is important to have that sort of committed schedule, you know, to say to yourself, I'm going in the studio at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I am going to sit down and, you know, maybe it's not going to work that day and you stop after a few hours, but at least every day you're going in there and you're trying to sit down for a certain amount of time and really crack on.
How do you do it? Do you do the same?
I do the same, yeah. So if I'm in the studio, I'm in here sort of, you know, once the kids have gone to school, well, when they're at school.
Yeah.
You know, take them to school, and then I'd come back home and get stuck straight into the studio, yeah. And then, you know, once they're back at sort of 3:30, 4, that's my day in the studio done.
That's dope. How has it worked, like writing with other people during COVID, and is a lot of it on Zooms and things like that? How have you found that?
Yeah, so I've been doing a few remote sessions. I've been sending the audio with a program called Audio Movers.
Yeah.
Which has been working really well, actually. So they're listening to a stream, you know, exactly what I'm hearing, high quality. And then we just have Skype going as well, basically.
Yeah.
So that works well. So they're getting high quality audio.
Do you enjoy it, or do you find it more work?
I would much rather I think everyone I feel like I'd rather they were here, and the people that I'm working with would rather be here as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's something about just that conversation. For me, like when you're in the studio with somebody, it's that morning conversation when you get in the studio and you're just like putting the worlds up right, and just it's that relaxation of starting the day with just general conversations that I find that you just don't really get online.
Yeah, you just it's definitely better if people come to the studio. And you know, if I'm working on some beats and I kick some MIDI notes out to one of the synths or something, and then someone's on the synth, it's just you're working together.
Yeah. No, I agree. I had Shadow Child on the podcast last year at some point, and he spoke about is it One for the Nerds?
Yeah.
And you were involved in that. How's that? First of all, anybody that's not listening, give it a little bit of explanation of what it is.
Give it a push.
Yeah.
Basically, One for the Nerds is a sort of one-to-one mentoring platform. So you can book a session with myself or any of the other people that are on the roster. And, you know, there's industry advice, production advice, and, you know, delving into people's productions as well if they want that. Going over anything that anyone wants to discuss about their music or about the music industry, getting into DJing, anything like that. So yeah, we offer that, and it's kind of, you know, so you book an hour session. And I've had a guy that's come on, and we would sort of delve into some of his tracks. He would share his screen with me and the audio as well, and we'd look at trying to, you know, make some changes to some of his processing chains and improve the sound of some of his tracks and get that sort of extra little bit of polish on the tracks, you know, to get them ready to send out. And then also trying to hook people up with getting stuff signed and all that kind of stuff as well. So it's quite a broad thing that we're doing, but I think it's really helping. Some of the people I've worked with have had some really good signings and some music out already, so it's been great.
Do you enjoy it?
I do enjoy it, actually. It's really nice to help people, and especially when the music is worthy.
Yeah.
Because it would probably be missed.
Yeah.
Or not listened to.
Yeah.
And you know, I know what that's like. I still know what that's like, sending stuff out and not having it listened to. Yeah. So if I can help other people to sort of, get their music out there and actually get it heard, then I will do my best to do that.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It can be so demoralizing when you're writing a record, you spend all this time, you've got it in your head that it's perfect for a record label, and you send it out, and then, or even you do send it out and they don't listen to it, and you're kind of waiting for like a couple of weeks, and then you're like, do I send them an email? Do I chase it up?
It's
or
really
what do I do?
It?
And you're like, I think especially it's the like one thing when you're starting out as a artist, and it's like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah, I think you have to know that most of the stuff you send out isn't going to get listened to. It just isn't. But you will, if you keep at it and you keep going, you will get a lucky moment where somebody just happens to be, something pops up and they're on their computer at the right time, and it just happens. You'll get a response and things can kind of kick on from there. But it is one of the hardest things for sure.
There's not many label owners that do listen to it. I know when I used to be like part of the Dirty Bird crew, I was speaking to Barclay or Claude, and he was like, I listen to everything that comes through now. And I was like, I know he doesn't. I know he has a filter, like Darren kind of filters it out, the label manager, but there was a period where he would listen to everything. And I was like, dude, that's amazing, but like, why? And he's like, Julio Bashmore, Battle for Middle to You, was in my inbox for 2 weeks and I missed it and somebody signed it before me. And ever since then, he's like, I can't miss a track like that ever again. And I was like, fair enough. Like, that's dedication to a record label, really.
Yeah. And it's, it's that kind of thing that will make you go, damn.
Yeah.
He missed out.
Proper. I bet it happens all the time. I bet it happens.
Oh, for sure.
Like I know with Camel Fat, with Cola, I think like 2 or 3 labels turned that down before that got signed.
And that was on was that on Friday?
Defected. It was like now had hundreds of millions of streams.
Damn, yeah. I bet those labels are thinking, shit.
But I also think like it has to be, without sounding too philosophical about it, it's like it happens for a reason. And sometimes a record that would come out on the label that you think would be the best label for it, it comes out on it and then it just absolutely flops and no one, it just gets forgotten about. But coming out on a different record label that you might not have thought was the best record label, it comes really out works. And it smashes it. Just depends.
Yeah, you never know, do you?
How much percentage do you think this industry is luck?
Oh God, I don't know. Probably quite high.
It's got to be, doesn't it?
Probably quite high. Yeah.
I think there's kind of controversial, but I think it's more luck than talent.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it might be. She might be right, but there are some, some people out there that are incredibly talented and do really well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the talent is always there, right? I'm not saying that that people aren't talented, because they have to be talented to kind of keep going, but that luck is so important.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like I was saying with, just the right, catching someone in the right mood at the right time when your demo pops in, and it might be that label that's going to take you under their wing and just like go and take you off with them touring and that kind of thing, and you just happened to arrive in their inbox at the right time.
Yeah,
it's that those kind of things are definitely just but if you're not putting yourself out there and writing music and sending it out, that will never happen anyway.
Totally agree.
So you've got to kind of I'm probably guilty of it at the moment. Actually, I'm kind of sitting here writing tons of music and then just kind of sitting back going,
hoping that someone's going to come across your hard drive and
yeah, exactly. It's like, what am I doing? I've got to do something with it.
Yeah. When was the last EP that you put out? Wasn't that, you had an EP out not so long ago, right?
I've just, so I had one on TrueSoul fairly recently, then I've just put one out myself as well.
Oh, was that your label?
Yeah, Whistleblower, yeah.
The Whistleblower, yeah.
And then I've got another thing just coming out on TrueSoul soon, and then I'll probably do another one on Whistleblower as well.
How long have you been running Whistleblower for?
I think probably since 2016.
I didn't know that. Do you sign other people on it?
Pardon?
Do you sign other people on it? Because I've seen you release on it.
Yeah, I have signed other people. I was running it for a while with Alan and with an artist called Rymos as well. Yeah. So he was releasing on there. Alan did a few releases. We signed some stuff from BKR, and we also signed some. We've had some remixes and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I mean, I am open to signing stuff, but it's easier to kind of keep it as a platform for my music for sure.
Totally. With my label, I kind of get asked this quite a lot, and I'm like, it's such a big, for me, it's so much pressure releasing somebody else's music. I don't know how you feel about it, because I'm just like, I want to make this record perform. I want this person to be happy with how this record has kind of been received by the public and the industry. And I'm just like, I've only been running the label for a year, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not that good at it yet. And
you want to wait.
Yeah. I want to wait until touring's back and I can help with touring as well, and kind of bring them on tour with me and do it that way.
Yeah. Well, that helps massively, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm lucky that I can do that. But I'm just like, it still scares me. Just like, I don't know.
It is. I think I've had a lot of really bad experiences with labels.
Yeah, same.
And if I have signed any music to Whistleblower, I've tried to make it as much of a nice process for the artist as possible.
Do you know what annoys me the most with record labels? Is that certain record labels, probably not the best record labels. It's not even that. That's the lie, because some of them are great, but they re-release your record over and over and over again.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like, it's been out 6 times.
It's so annoying.
People don't want to buy this 6 times. And
stop it.
Yeah, and they always do it when you've got like a big release coming up.
It kind of pops up on your page again. And you think, why? Why are you putting it out again?
Yeah, like it was shit in the first place. Don't. I actually had to hit some people up before and be like, in the past, can you stop
releasing that record?
Like, can you stop releasing it? Also, like, I was like, can you also send me the contracts? Because I'm pretty sure I've never sent a contract. And he was like, yeah, you definitely signed a contract. And then I was like, yeah, but you've never sent me any accounting. So technically you've breached contract. So just stop releasing it. I don't care. You can take all the money. I don't care about the money, because it's probably about 20 quid. But still, just like, stop releasing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so, and you're right, because most labels don't do any accounting either. No statements ever.
No. It's only the good ones that do, really.
Yeah. The sort of bigger guys that have got a bit more time. I must admit, I'm not amazing at it, but at least, if I miss a period, the next period I'm like, oh my God, sorry, I haven't done that. So here's a bigger chunk for you, kind of thing. Yeah. I'll always get it to the people in the end.
Yeah, it just amazes me that it's generally the smaller people, the smaller ones that just want your music for absolutely nothing and expect you to give them the world, yet especially in the day and age now where every artist can just self-release their record and not need a record label.
It's so easy now, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you think that's like a way forward? Or do you think you still need the labels?
I think, obviously having those big labels out there is so important. But if you don't get a chance of any of those and your music, you feel like your music's worthy, then get it out there.
Yeah.
Because, it's so easy to put stuff out now. And if it is good, then it should kind of break through the noise.
It's hard, isn't it, though? It's hard to break through that noise.
It is. I mean, you need to put some money behind a little bit of PR maybe and a decent promo mail out and, get some good people behind it like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely worth doing. Don't just sort of, if you send in your music out there and it's not getting picked up, don't just give up.
No, I agree, man. We kind of didn't finish the conversation about One for the Nerds. How can people kind of get involved with that? If they wanted
you just head over to the website and, have a look at the people that are on there. And if you want to book a session with anyone, you just go through the website and give it a go. It's definitely, I would say if it's for intermediate to advanced producers, people that are feeling maybe like they're missing that sort of final something on their tracks, maybe a bit of, help with arrangement or just that final bit of processing maybe or layers, maybe some different ideas. But yeah, it's definitely less for beginners and more for people that are kind of think their tracks are sounding pretty good already,
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's such when Sai was telling me about it, I was like, this is genius, because there's never like, it's usually when you're starting out, it's usually about building a community around you so you can kind of get that feedback as well and kind of meet producers that are maybe more have kind of achieved a little bit more and have been doing it for a little bit longer or just are better than you. But it's so hard to break into that community to start with.
It is. You're going to find people that are really open and easy to speak to in the scene, and then you're going to find other people that you're just never going to
get anything,
be able to you're never going to get anything from. So try and sort of attach yourself to those, or speak to those people that feel a bit more open and available.
I think you just got to put yourself out there, don't you, really?
Exactly.
You can't just sit around doing nothing, because it's never gonna happen.
If you've got some good music and you think it's where it needs to be, then just get it out there. Try and get it in front of some people. But it's definitely a good platform, and it's Simon's great at that sort of thing. He's so good.
Yeah, he's great. He used to be a teacher, didn't he?
Pardon?
He used to be a teacher.
Exactly. He's just got that sort of, he just knows how to approach things like that. He knows how to explain things really well. I should probably book a session with him, to be honest. Is
Spy on there? Is it Spy?
Yes, Spy's on there. Yeah.
I was like, I want to book a session with him just because I love what he does, and I can't really write drum and bass, but I'd love to. Like that. I think
he's just added another drum and bass producer as well, New Tone, I think.
Okay, dope.
Yeah. So it's growing for sure, and I think Simon's, he's kind of driving it forward. Massively. He really wants to push it, and it's like, it's got good future music sponsoring it now as well, which is great.
Yeah, because I think realistically, when you're starting out as a producer, you don't need a manager. You don't need, and I think that's a very easy thing to kind of think about or to go to, is be like, okay, my music's nearly there. I need to go get a manager to then go get me everything else. But realistically, what you need is somebody to just help you out and kind of mentor you through the process. And a manager doesn't do that really.
Yeah, and the management can be, you know, if it's a retainer or if you're touring a lot, then obviously it can get very expensive. But and sometimes you're kind of thinking, what have you done?
Yeah.
You know, sent a few emails out and I paid you 1,600 quid or something like that. And for other people, probably much, much more than that. But I guess the busier, you know, for the people that are touring heavily touring, I think management is essential because there's just too much to do.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a record label, you've got events that you're doing, you've got a busy DJ schedule as well, festivals. It's just, you know, it all has to be managed. But for someone that's just kind of up and coming, then, you know, maybe a few sort of in-depth chats here and there going over certain things can really help.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's, I don't know, do you have management?
I did, but no, I don't anymore.
How do you find the whole management thing?
Well, when I was DJing a bit, obviously, I actually had stopped touring completely even before COVID-19 happened. So I'd sort of said, right, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just going to produce and I'm just going to be in the studio. But I said to Alan, I was like, look, if you get any Brave shows and, you know, they're going to be proper decent, you know, those sort of shows are always really good. I said to him, if you wanted me to do any of those with you guys, because I'd love going away with the whole crew, you know, like when there's a group of us all together and, you know, we bring wives, girlfriends, friends, such a laugh. I love that.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of that. If that, you know, I played a few times all together and I said, if I could do this every weekend with you guys, I would be out.
Yeah.
I would want to continue, but just the touring on my own, I was just like, I could take it or leave it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I loved. That's what I loved about being part of the, like when I first started with the Dirty Bird crew. It was always a party. It's always like you're with your mates, always, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Really, really good. I would do that. I would definitely do that. But, you know, I said to him, if you get anything, I'll play. But, I'd stopped. I've completely forgoten where I was going with this.
We were talking about management and
the management thing. Yeah, so I just didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And even when I did have it, I didn't really need it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think for me, like I've had some terrible management and at some points probably didn't need management.
Yeah.
And I think like reflecting, I could blame management for my career not going the way I wanted it to go, where realistically it was my fault.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's always the drive always has to come from the artist.
Yeah,
100%. The DJ, you know, whatever. The drive has to come from you.
Yeah.
If you haven't got, you know, if you're not picking up that phone saying, right, I want this, I want that, I want to play there, I want to go here, I want to do this, or, you know, that's what you've got to be doing.
Yeah, totally.
You've got to be on the case. And if you're not doing that, why would anyone be, you know, no one else is going to have that drive for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also about, you have to know yourself as a person and also as an artist as well. It's like, for me, my current manager, a guy called Ryan, like, I will happily say that I will have him as a manager for the rest of my life. He's fucking amazing. And he's the only manager that I actually want to pay him rather than beforehand. I never wanted to pay my managers before.
Sorry, mate, you just cut up there.
Oh, sorry, mate. Can you hear me?
Right.
There we go. Back in.
Yeah.
No, yeah. What I was saying was, I can't remember. Management. I know we were talking about management.
Yeah, management. You were saying that you'll be with this guy.
Yeah, like now's the like. Before previous managers, I never wanted to pay because I never felt they actually put the work in.
Yeah.
And Ryan, I find that I want to pay him more, if you know what I mean, because I know how much work he's putting into it and kind of how much of a team it is rather than just us and them. And I find it's really hard. And it was definitely for me starting out. I was like, I need a manager. And really,
it's always the thing, isn't it? Everyone thinks they do. Yeah.
Yeah, and you really don't.
No.
Have you ever thought about getting a manager or like an agent for your like engineering side of things?
I did. People have asked about that, but I've always been busy. Too busy probably.
Yeah.
I would say I probably work too much already. So I never sort of knew how I'd expand on it. If you know what I mean? I guess it would have been maybe that they could get more high profile people, or maybe they just charge more money.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to push out. I knew that it would probably go down the route of, pushing out people that I'm sort of worked with for a long time and all that kind of thing,
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't want people to get pushed out because a manager wanted to charge 3 times the amount,
Yeah. Do you, when you're writing for other people, do you ever get to the point where you're like, I've written so much music, I just can't do anything for yourself?
Do it anymore. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. I think it was 2 years ago. I had to have about 6 months.
Oh, really?
6 months completely off, no engineering. I think I kept a couple of people where I just did a few days within the 6 months. I just did a few days, but I pretty much had 6 months of just no engineering, and it was great. And I really needed it. I really, really needed it.
Yeah.
So I ended up just sort of writing my own stuff and played a load of tennis. It was a lovely 6 months.
Yeah.
Great. Just sort of floating around doing nothing. But when I came back to it again, I was really energized.
Yeah. Did it get to the point where you're like, I actually want to be in the studio, I have to be back?
Yeah, so I'd never kind of stepped away completely, but I do really like working with people.
Yeah.
And, all the people I work with now have become good friends. So I look forward to those days. But it just my head was just completely baked.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it anymore. I just had to sort of send an email to everyone saying, please just bear with me.
Give me some time off.
I'll be back.
Yeah, it's
yeah, give me a little bit of time.
It must be tough because you're writing for people and they rely on music. There must be a bit of a pressure there.
I feel, it definitely is quite high pressure, I think, especially if it's not going well on, during a session, if it's not going in the direction that the artist wants, or if I don't feel it's going very well, it can get quite sort of, tense, but I feel that I really knuckle down in those sort of situations.
Yeah.
Something always comes. I never get to the end of a session and, someone's kind of, that we haven't got anything done, or there's always an idea there, or there's a track finished, or, something always happens in the end.
Yeah, it is. It does work like that. I don't know how.
Which feeds into the way I work myself as well, because there's no choice. If someone's sat here and they're paying for a session, I can't just go, "Oh, sod it.
Yeah.
Let's go to the pub," sort of thing.
Yeah. Let's go bake some bread.
Yeah, so it's sort of like you have to deliver.
Yeah, it sometimes the pressure's good, right? And going back to remixes, when I like it when you get an offer in to do a remix and they're like, "Yeah, we need it back in a week." I'm like, oh,
yeah,
great.
and you're like, that you've got no choice. You can't fanny around, can you?
And it's got to be great. You got to make it something great, because it's going to come out, and you can't. I don't know about you, but I've put some stuff out that I regret massively.
Yeah.
But with remixes, it's like it has to be good. It has to be a good record, because you're gonna have to live with it forever, because it's there forever.
Well, it's all there, isn't it?
I
sort of some stuff that I've done, I can't bear to listen to now. But then other things, I'll stumble across, think tracks that I've completely forgotten about that I've done, and be like, "Oh,
that's all right."
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Have you ever done something where you're like, you listen back to it after a couple of years and you're like, how did I do that? Like,
yeah,
that's actually really good, and I couldn't do that now.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think going back and looking at some of my old files, and I would have that. I'd think, how did I get it to sound like this?
Yeah.
Like this actual sound of the production and stuff like that. So I'd go back into an old file and I'd think, wow, I did that.
Yeah, I love that.
A certain way of processing, or some sort of crazy EQ or something like that. I thought, oh my God, maybe I need to. I think sometimes where, I don't know, there's so much information all the time, and if you're watching videos on how to do different stuff, there's so many new plugins and synths and all this kind of thing. I personally forget about techniques that I used to use, or certain little tricks that I used to do, and for some reason they just phase out, but they do make a difference.
Yeah, they kind of get replaced by something else, right? And
they get replaced, and it's not necessarily, maybe it's better now or it was better then, I don't know, but it's nice to go back and go, that sounds like that because of this.
Yeah. How do you do all your mix downs yourself, or do you get somebody else to do that?
I do them myself.
Yeah.
Maybe I should get someone else to do them.
I don't know. I have this conversation because I have this conversation with people all the time. Some people love to get them mixed down by somebody else. Some people love to do it themselves. I know, like, I've had 2 records that are out mixed down by other people, and that's purely when I'm in a situation where, like, my studio in Detroit, it was so new, the room was so new to me, and I just like couldn't get it.
You didn't know.
And you're just like, okay, I need to give this to somebody else just to have some fresh ears. I've done like a mix session with Steve Dubbs, which was just amazing.
Right. Okay.
Like, I don't know if you know who likes him at all.
No.
He's like the silent partner in Chemical Brothers.
Oh, okay.
So he mixes down all their records, but he does a lot of the recording and stuff for them as well. And that was, for me, that was just more of like a learning of just like going in and watching him get the SSL desk out and just like properly mix a record, like how it used to happen in the
did you take stems in then?
Yeah, I took the whole project, and then we just bounced down the stems that he kind of wanted. And we ended up just mixing down literally everything, like from scratch. It's like a really, really interesting process. And I always mix my stuff down. Like 99% of the time. But I've been working on a few records, and I'm like, I really want to, like, I still haven't nailed the mixing. Like, sometimes I get it really good, and sometimes I'm like, nah, it's not that good.
Do you, when you finish, do you bounce stems and then mix, or
I mix
no?
as I go along, and then I usually fuck it up at the end and try and go like more into depth. What do you do?
I just do it as I go as well, and I know that what I should probably do is then bounce maybe 4, 5, 6 stems out and things bust together, and then mix those again. Like Simon does, he sums it all back in through that little.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he sums it back in through all that SSL, doesn't he? Okay. He's got that little mixing desk.
Yeah.
But I think I just do it as I go and tweak and tweak and tweak, and then sometimes probably go too far, I think.
Yeah.
Often the best stuff I think maybe is the vibe that I catch when I'm first starting an idea can sound amazing, and then I'll lose it.
Yeah.
Just process the shit out of it and it's just gone.
I did that. I opened a project up literally earlier and was like, this sounds awful. And then turned everything off that I did afterwards, and I'm like, this is how it was supposed to sound, and I'll just keep it like this. Just not gonna add anything else. It's weird. It's weird how you can kind of get into it and kind of overdo it, overcook it, and you're just like, you just lose that vibe.
I think my stuff sounded better when I knew less.
Yeah. Well, it's rawer, isn't it? It's raw.
God, to say that out loud is horrible, but
denial is great, isn't it?
When I just didn't know what I was doing, things were just really loud and everything sounded really chunky and big. Yeah. And now it's all quite clean, and I don't know. I'm still happy with the stuff that I produce, and obviously production changes and people's production styles change, but I don't know if my knowing more necessarily makes your stuff sound better, as in like knowing more of the technical stuff. I don't know if that always helps.
I think for me is I try and go down that golden rule route, is that if the sounds are good from the start, then I don't do much on it at all. Yeah. And then if the idea is really strong, then I just leave it. I really don't process. You'll probably be sick. You'll go through my productions and like there's zero compression on anything. There's like zero EQ on anything, but it just works. And that's fine, and that's great, because if you've got the sound, if the source of the sound is quality, then you shouldn't need that much on it. Yeah. Because if you've got 20 different EQ bands and do you know what I mean? Then the sound isn't right. Yeah, go get a new one. Yeah, go and get a new kick drum or a new hi-hat. If you've got to process it that much, then it's then just leave it. Yeah, sometimes just having a big kick drum just sounds great by itself. Just sounds, just a kick on its own with a synth. Yeah. That's it, yeah. They're always the hardest tracks to make though, but when you make them, they're the best. When it's literally the simple ones are the best for sure. Yeah, they are. The ones where you end up, like, does it need something else? Then something else. If you keep having to think you need to add more, then you should take everything, turn everything off and strip it right back. Start again. No, I agree. Yeah. No, I agree, man. Dude. If something's just not sounding full, but you've got loads of stuff in there, then it's just something's gone wrong along the way. Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. I agree. It's about enjoying it, isn't it? It's about getting a vibe. If you've got a vibe, you're fine. Yeah. Especially with, I think people can accept a little bit of, if there's a really great vibe on a track, people will obviously, you still want to hear good, relatively good production, but people will be a bit more forgiving, I think, if it's just got a great vibe. Yeah, I think if you listen back to some of the old records, that still stand up in a set nowadays, and none
Yeah,
of them have had
the production might not be amazing.
Yeah, most of it, the production was awful because none of them had a clue what they were doing. They were just lucky enough to get the right gear at the time, or go into a mate's studio that had the gear, and it sounds great.
Made a killer tune.
Yeah, man. Dude, we've just done an hour and a half. Let's wrap it up.
That was great.
Yeah, it was amazing.
No worries, man.
Thanks for being on. Before we go, how can people follow your bread baking life?
My bread and tunes.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm terrible on social media. I'm really bad at it, and I'm not. If anyone wants to follow me, I'm probably most active on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm on there as Reset Robot. I bet I don't use Facebook at all, and I don't use
Twitter.
What are the other ones?
TikTok.
Twitter. No, I don't use that either.
Do you use TikTok? I can't imagine you use TikTok. No,
I don't. I'm really scared of that.
Yeah, same. I don't use it. I kind of feel
I'm
like
happy to become a sort of, I'm probably I'm probably not gonna be one of these like hip, trendy dads that's got like a Snapchat thing and a TikTok thing and all that.
Do you want your dad to be hip and trendy and be on social media? I don't know if you do you?
Well, I don't know, but I am, because I have to be, and Instagram's fine for me. That's enough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to keep up with doing all the others as well.
What, have you got OnlyFans yet, mate?
Pardon? No.
Oh dear. Right, so Reset Robot on Instagram.
Yeah.
Spotify.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You can find me there, and then actually at SoundCloud as well. I keep that up fairly up to date.
I've stopped using it. I'm like, fuck 'em. They don't pay, so I'm like, stuff them.
Do they not pay at all? They don't pay at all.
Like it's less than what YouTube pays, and YouTube pays less than anyone.
Right. Okay.
But it has to go. It has to go through the paywall, so it has to be distributed from a distributor. So if you just upload something, unless
it doesn't.
Yeah, you're game over.
Right. Okay.
That's why I stopped using them.
That's fair enough, I suppose. I think it's sort of for me, it's more of that's where I just put all of my music to listen to, for me to kind of go over.
Yeah.
And to send out demos and all that kind of stuff. So I keep the page fairly tidy and up to date with releases and that.
I might put the odd mix on there occasionally.
Yeah.
But it just annoys me when these companies are just like, they make much money. They make so much money, and yet they just aren't willing to pay. Yeah,
Spotify as well, man. Just
it's so strange, isn't it? Because streaming is great, right? Streaming is actually great because we can make money again from music. Like but
they could pay. They would still make the billions that they're making, but they might make a few less billions.
Yeah.
But they could pay so much more. If they're making that much profit after everyone's been paid, then they can afford to pay the people that are making the platform so good a bit more, can't they?
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's the thing. It also depends on who you are, because if you're like Drake or someone like that, you're getting paid more. So the big pop stars have like, they're almost
better deals.
It's like publishers, really. They have publishers that go in and be like, well, you're not having this music unless are you still there?
This is what we want, basically.
Yeah. Unless this is what you're paying us, otherwise you're not getting it.
Yeah.
But we can't do that.
Dang. No, I know. I'd like to be able to do that, but it would be nice if they would just, release a little bit more. It would be amazing.
No, I agree.
Because it's there. It's definitely there.
Yeah.
But then they like pay flipping, Harry and Meghan 26 million or something to do a podcast.
Really?
Something like that.
I didn't
And I
know
was just
that.
like, fucking hell, do they need all of that?
Yeah.
I don't think they do they?
Yeah, I think Rogan got over 100 million for his podcast
Wow.
on Spotify. Like, I kind of agree with that. I'm like cool with that because it's like you're the biggest podcast in the world. You're actually bringing Spotify more value than Spotify can give you. Like it doesn't benefit him to go on there. He was earning like 30 to 60 grand a show anyway. So Spotify's only benefiting from it. But yeah, I agree. But they also don't pay you for having they don't pay you for having your podcast on there and stuff.
No, I would. Yeah, so that's another story, isn't it? But the music thing, they could definitely release a bit more. But
yeah, I agree.
You know, if I say to Spotify, right, well, that's it. I'm not putting my music on there then.
They don't care. Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting for something.
Jump in and make what you can, or don't put it on there.
Something has to come out. So somebody has to make something that's like Apple's much better. Apple Music pays double to what Spotify does.
Yeah,
but they don't have.
I just don't think
people
are using it as much.
They don't have the listeners. It's like half of what Spotify is doing.
Yeah,
even less than that, really.
But the actual platform, the interface, it's not as good.
It's terrible.
It's not as nice to use, is it?
And the thing is that they're lovely. I know a lot of the guys over there, and they're lovely. They're amazing, and they really do support the artist. They go out to like support the artist, but their platform's just not good.
No.
Doesn't
I guess
help.
they've got, Spotify is just doing that, isn't it? So
yeah, I can imagine as much as Apple says it's like a company for the people, it's a huge corporation beast, isn't it? It's going to be so hard. It's an
absolute monster, yeah.
To get anything passed through management is going to be a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Let's be honest.
And I guess would be scrutinised down to the tiniest little.
Yeah.
If it's going to cost more or.
Exactly. Yeah, it's stocks, in it. It's the stock.
Exactly. Yeah, shareholders and all that kind of thing.
They own everything.
So we went off again on one.
Yeah, we did. Just done it another 10 minutes, mate. Right. Thank you for being on, mate. Really appreciate it. And
no worries, man.
Hopefully catch you in a club or a studio at some point in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, let's do something.
Yeah, I'm down. I'd love to do it in person. Let's do something in person when we when we can.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Sounds good to me.
Keep safe, man, and I'll see you soon.
Cheers.
And that is a wrap. Absolutely love that podcast. Yeah, really enjoying these podcasts now, and really, really appreciate for everyone that's listening. Means a lot. I'd absolutely love it if you could go and hit subscribe or like or give us a little comment or send it to your mates and kind of let's make this a little bit bigger. It just helps the show keep going. Keep safe. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon.